Good morning.
Good morning.
GM.
How you doing?
Good, man. I am good. Just got a fresh cup of coffee. Things are looking up. How are you doing today? Whoa, maybe that just answered it. That good, eh?
Yeah.
What are we smoking today?
Sorry, I went to get my coffee as well.
You said that's coffee. All right. I caught you off guard, and yeah.
You said coffee, and it triggered me. I am smoking on Fabulosa.
Fabulosa.
That's what it's called.
Is it as fabulosa as it sounds?
It is. It's very gassy.
Okay.
Earthy, gassy. It's pretty much the flavor profile there.
I love how you could talk about this stuff the way that somebody talks about wine, and I'm not even saying that in a criticism.
I know. There are cannabis sommeliers now. There is actually a school in Colorado that will teach you how to learn what different terpenes are, because what you're doing is you're analyzing what the terpene profile is of the cannabis and what it would do to somebody's physiology or pair well with, so to say.
Interesting. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Man, I know about wine pairings. I didn't know about marijuana pairings.
Well, there's a few places in California that do pair with a taster's menu. Like you get a dab with each course of
cool
menu, which is cool.
Would you be able to tell California weed from New York weed?
Well, there's not a lot of New York weed. It's interesting because there are so few craft growers left in New York that if you do find locally grown cannabis by a craft New York grower, it's as good as California. But the average shit you would find here is imported from another state, grown badly, production cannabis, commercial cannabis, as they'd call it. Whereas the commercial cannabis in California is on average better than anywhere in the world.
Yeah, you were saying the other day, it's top of the top.
Yeah. Cali is the best genetics, along with Michigan. Those are your two. I know Colorado would be pissed at me.
Colorado's shaking their fist right now.
Colorado's an interesting case. I won't get into the intricacies there, but they're an interesting case.
GM, guys, Scottish guy, welcome to the DGen Dojo. Saw you signed up last night, this morning, sometime that afternoon, I guess in Scotland, probably. I don't know what time that would be, but welcome. Appreciate you jumping in there with us. Always excited to welcome some new members in there. Samuel, David, Bomber, Chipper, Strictly 3 Sports, Mo, Akleezy. Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. Colorado gang represent. Maybe you've just been quiet. How about that Azuki pump? Yeah, Azuki is going on an absolute tear. You could thank Dingaling for that, I think. Chris, GM, my dude, we're going to fill out some NFT Madness brackets later. NDOT, what's going on? Free market, you ready to get into it, my man?
Let's do it.
GM DGens, and welcome to the March 24th, 97th edition of the AM Morning NFT Show, hosted live on YouTube and Twitch TV. It is Thursday. Things are feeling good. There's a little bit of life back in the crypto markets. A lot of floors on NFTs are down right now. Volume still seems to be drying up a little bit, but in selective places, as I just mentioned, like Azuki, things are looking A-okay. So I guess it kind of is just representative of what's in your bag and how you're feeling about the market. Free market, how are you doing today?
Fabulous.
Yeah, you had a good Wednesday, good hump day?
It was a great Wednesday. Things are looking up, my friend.
Yeah, I think we're rounding a corner. Crypto is kind of leading the charge. It's not going on a tear or anything this morning, but it definitely held its own. over this week and is trading sideways. Free market always talks about how that consolidation under the resistance is really important for the next leg up. So we're going to get into that. Hemi, the on Twitch TV is just AlphaMint. I think it's just /AlphaMint. I'll double check for you and get the link while we're talking about stuff. On that note, let's pull up the crypto market and the S&P market right now. ETH rallied above 3,000. It is barely holding on to it right now. $3,009. Saw it closer to 3,100 when I woke up this morning, but that is all right. Bitcoin was over 43,000 very briefly, sitting just below that mark right now. So about, 2%, 1.5% on the day. A couple of big winners in the crypto market right now are Cardano up 12% on the day and 35% on the week. And Solana had a nice little jump up about 7.5%. Cardano, not that we talk about it a lot or care about it much, but staking did go live on Coinbase. So if you hold Cardano in Coinbase, you're now able to reap the rewards of their staking protocol. We're still trying to figure out what else is going on that network, but hey, it's been the recipient of a nice little run there this week for sure. What are we seeing in the S&P markets? ETH and Bitcoin. I have a news article that I'll pull up during it. Bitcoin is at its 17-month high of correlation to the S&P. What are you seeing?
Yeah, so spot is obviously still taking its cue from traditional markets, which is a better gauge of geopolitical risk, which is what we're experiencing right now with inflation in Ukraine. We are consolidating underneath the 200-day moving average. This is the most watched of moving averages, as the more data you have, the more accurate your technical analysis is. So the 200-day tends to be the longest moving average people watch. On traditional markets, on the S&P, we're consolidating right underneath. That's healthy. If we can continue healthy consolidation without anything else knocking us down, I would expect us to consolidate under the 200 and then push above it, pop up, and then go back down and test it again and try to build support on top of the 200-day moving average. So everything has set up very bullish. Like I said, I don't use a lot of indicators. I am of the KISS method, right? Keep it simple, stupid. So I really just use the RSI, the relative strength indicator, and some simple moving averages. Like that's all I really use. I don't use anything fancy. All those indicators you see on people's charts and different, stuff like that. And the RSI is a long way to go. It's not even overbought yet. The potential here is to actually get back to the all-time highs on the S&P, and I would actually think that would drag crypto right along with it. I don't know if Bitcoin is going to get back to its all-time high, but they'd get pretty close. So, yeah.
Yeah, we seem to be moving into that seasonality. The article, of course, explaining how the correlation with the S&P is at its 17-month high. So S&P goes up, Bitcoin goes up, and so does the rest of crypto. What do you think it will take to have a crypto decoupling? Is it more mainstream adoption? Is it a big country coming out with favorable rulings? Is it American legislation coming out that might put it into another paradigm?
I think we need to we're going into a very bullish seasonality window for the next month and a half right now. Okay. We're for about a month and a half. It's very bullish seasonality. Then the old adage is sell in May and go away, which usually means that the summer, even if it's not bearish, is at least chop and consolidation and sideways, and will frustrate people who try to look for a trend. That would be, in my opinion, when you would see crypto decouple. It would be the market is going to probably not rally so hard over the summer and take another pause and pull back into I don't expect the market to get back above its all-time highs until the fall at the latest, at the earliest, excuse me. So I could see crypto decoupling again over the summer if there's no more inflation or geopolitical risks. And that is not that inflation is going away. Inflation is going to stay persistently high for the next year. But the rate in which inflation is increasing has already plateaued and I believe is going to start to decline. very soon here. So it's not that inflation is going away, but it will stop going up at the speed in which it is going up. And look, you start getting used to prices. It sucks, but eventually you get used to prices, things adjust, and yeah, that's pretty much.
Decoy is asking, how long have you been trading? I'm assuming he means traditional markets.
Like 20 years, I guess, 18 to 20 years.
It's crazy when you start to get into that, numbers that start into with your professional careers and whatnot.
Well, bought my trading is different. Like I would say I wasn't a serious trader until 28. I mean, I bought my first stocks when I was like 18, and I've been in the market since then. That's been my jam. So.
Yeah, for sure. It's Hemi, LOL. Oh, it's Hemi. Says, when will Coinbase be hitting the NFT market? Might set us into a tear. I mean, that's an interesting thing. It's one of those conversations that have been on the back burner so long. I don't know. Do you think Coinbase NFT has maybe lost a little bit of its luster, or will it be? Do you think it'll be game on for NFTs once that hits?
They made a tweet yesterday.
I did not.
They said, "What? Show us your forever NFT." Oh my God, the salt underneath that! Like, you have some fucking nerve, was one of the comments.
I see it here.
Yeah. People are just, hey, people. People are frustrated, right? Like, because the way.
I'm so glad you pointed this out because I completely missed it.
Right. The way that people are now like, what is Yuga gonna do next? What's the next Yuga? That's how we were all about Coinbase, right? The last 6 was like,
6 months.
The next partnership? Who is the next partnership? And I mean, mistake me if I'm wrong, but I think they were aiming for January. Was like what all the rumors and everything seemed to be.
Greg.
Did they get one serious answer? I don't know.
There were a couple in there, but it's one of those things that, like, keep maybe it should have been kept a little closer to their vest. Or maybe that was the intent. Maybe they want to wash out some of that ridiculous hype. Coinbase in the past has been accused many times of listing projects that go through absolute pumps, and then employees are accused of front running it and whatnot. And maybe this drawn out cycle of announcements is to like suppress some of that. Do you think? Right. I don't know. Like,
it's funny to me because we think about Coinbase. We think about some other marketplaces that would be more mainstream, and a lot of people, the first thought was like using a credit card, right? And how that could be a boom for NFTs. Let's not get into the moral implications of what that could mean for people, but would this cause a huge NFT boom? I've always been hesitant to think that. Like, I think one thing that helps NFTs boom is that they're priced in ETH, right? Like, I think people that buy NFTs buy a little bit of ETH, make money on a shit coin, and then decide to go buy some NFTs, and they're not thinking that like 2 ETH is $6,000. It's just like it's 2 ETH, right? Once you're buying shit with a credit card and it shows you the dollar amount when you're checking out, I just feel like the fact that it's a credit card, people are still going to be like, wait, what am I doing here?
Yep.
What am I actually doing here? So I think the effect could be mitigated slightly, but at the same time, I deal with a lot of, for lack of a better term, normies, or people who are new to NFTs, who are just getting in. They talk about these things in dollars and they're buying them. Like, I think they can somehow, as long as it seems like an investment, as long as it seems like a speculation to them, the same way they would buy a stock or Dogecoin, they can get their head around throwing 3, 5, 6 grand into something, especially if they don't understand how illiquid it is, especially when volume leaves.
Well, you know what? Actually, I've been looking for to buy like just a couple more pairs of shoes and whatnot, and trying to get my hands on some like Nike, like Air Force Ones. Like, I just want a pair of them. I used to have them. I always liked them. Blah blah blah. So there's this like little local kicks like sneaker store down the street from me. Like, this is in a downtown core kind of area or whatever. I thought like, I'll go check it out and like damn, seeing the real dollar value of some of these sneakers kind of put some stuff into perspective for me too, right? Because people do spend their money on stuff like that. And there's no criticism behind spending that much money on sneakers. For some reason, I have no problem spending like 15 grand buying into Raid Party or something like that. But I saw like a $700 price tag on a pair of sneakers. Now I wear them, and maybe you're not supposed to do that. So maybe that's why I'm not thinking about it like that. But people do spend that kind of money on collections in the real world too, right? So there's no reason to believe that the dollar value on that on Coinbase would be discouraging for everybody. I think it'll be discouraging for some people.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly.
I think for people that have a collector's mindset, like whether it have been Pokemon cards, baseball or NBA cards, sneakers, stuff like that, you're used to the idea that like, quality good things that have high potential are going to be more expensive. But my wife logging into Coinbase and looking at an NFT and seeing it's $1,200, she's going to nope the fuck out of there.
Well, what I think you're going to see, and look, we always wonder where's that like OTC market, where's that pink sheet market going to come from, right? Because during every bull run, we see the pink sheets, like these really low priced. I don't know if all of them are low effort and all of them are cash grabs, but these, when we're back in January, when we're back in late December, there were so many projects launching on a daily basis, right? These are the things on Coinbase. Now, even though there's going to be a strict, approval process to get on Coinbase, these cheap projects, the one where somebody could take their credit card, like, all right, $300, I could gamble that on a speculative investment, right? What's going to happen is you're going to have millions of people that have access to that type of speculative investment. Then people like us who are used to paying 0.3, 0.51 ETH, they're going to see these like, oh shit, look at this little thing that's popping off. And boy, I mean, these type of cooks with those millions of wallets coming online, normie wallets using credit cards and shit.
Yeah, I guess the friction is so low on being able to do that.
There's a lot. It's going to be such a different market not different. I think a lot of the things we saw before that have gone away just because as we get more sophisticated, we want more expensive mints. We want things that are obvious quality, and companies that are obvious quality know that and say, all right, well, we're going to charge a little more because the serious collector is looking for that. And it signals to them that we're a good project. Well, it's going to be different when these millions of wallets come on. It's a very, very, very interesting. I hope Coinbase does get its shit together here soon.
Yeah, somebody is a Commander's Challenge is saying Q2 from his sources in there. I gotta believe
it's gonna be like ETH2 now. Like it was end of year last year, then Q1, now it's Q2.
3 months away from being 3 months.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Hey, you know what? If it's ready when it's ready, that's fine. It's I do think that there's some impetus for them to do this sooner than later before they lose too much of their moat, or maybe they just think that their market is untouchable, which maybe it is. I don't know. Well, I would love to be a fly on the wall with them discussing like the strategy of when they're going to release this, right?
Look, and we know NFTs like to rally over the summer. That'd be a great time to launch a marketplace too. So.
Yes, very, very, very true.
Oh, was it Takoa? Oh my God. Does he have the inside Coinbase scoop now from I'll go with it. Sure.
A couple other quick news articles I had. This one I just kind of is good. It's a great story. Obviously, people being able to use crypto to get out of situations that are obviously not very good in reference to Ukraine being invaded. It's always good to just kind of like take a step back, look at things from a higher level. NFTs are great. They're important. We're here because we believe that they're going to continue to do amazing things, continue to grow and evolve, and probably change the way that the world thinks about digital assets and assets in general. But if you want some reaffirmation about why all this works and why all this is important, like if we just peel back a little bit and go into just talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum and the power that it has for a lot of people that frankly don't really give a shit about NFTs, especially at this very moment. and how it allows people to operate different than even just 5-10 years ago. This was a story about a Ukrainian refugee with $2,000 in Bitcoin reaching Poland. He basically was talking about 40% of his life savings held in Bitcoin. He really had no access to financial institutions to withdraw his money from his banks. He said the lines in for the ATM machines in the banks were so long that it was probably going to take days for him to get. Like, things were getting very treacherous. And he basically wrote his seed phrase down on a piece of paper, kept it, close to his chest, and took off. Was able to do a P2P transaction for a couple $100s with some Bitcoin, raise enough money to buy some transportation out of there, and has arrived safely in Poland with his crypto intact, and now able to have a little bit of money to try and get back on his feet, or at least keep himself in some food and shelter for the time being. We're sitting here on YouTube, and it's great. Like, we love talking about all of this stuff. There's a lot of people in the world that like really do kind of just need this financial agency over their things. Like, I've worked from a family from the Middle East that had to flee their country. And they were pretty wealthy over there. And when they came over here, they only got to bring a small fraction of their wealth, because that's all they were allowed to take. And this is why, when you realize kind of what we're on the precipice of, and why all of this stuff works. And then NFTs, of course, will play a role in that in the future too. This is so important. So, if you're ever feeling bearish on crypto in general and stuff like that, just remember there's, the world actually really does need this stuff.
Yeah, and when we say NFTs will play a role, we don't mean JPEGs. I mean, non-fungible tokens.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
has many more use cases than what we are using them for now. But yeah, certainly. I mean, blockchain technology and the electronic transfer of money. Right now in the Western world, the reason something like Bitcoin or Doge or ETH doesn't have mass adoption is because there really is no need. You can transfer dollars electronically to all your friends instantly and easily for low fees on various apps. It's not that blockchain couldn't do it slightly better. It's that slightly better isn't enough to disrupt an entire industry, because people just don't feel compelled. It's like people are lazy. Unless you show them that something is seriously going to improve their lives, give them more time, enrich them, blah, 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 they're just not going to bother. You look at the rest of the world, there's a necessity, right? This is where blockchain, at least the electronic financial decentralized highway proves its use case. So that is, that's what we see here. And
yeah, more people in the world have access to a smartphone than a bank account, right? And I mean, that's all you need.
Well, we've talked about, Africa and India, where it was somewhere where their technological and financial infrastructure couldn't grow as fast as, say, the cellular, mobile internet. It was just it was easily overtook. And I remember in India, there was companies that would allow you to bank on phones before people in rural areas had access to what we would understand as modern fintech or anything like that. So
yeah, it's pretty incredible stuff. It's always good to do a little bit of a reality check and where this can go, right? Because we love the JPEGs. There's no doubt about it, but there's some real big stuff on the horizon.
No, and it's just this really funny dichotomy, because in the rest of the world, what blockchain has always been lauded for proves its use case in this right now. But you need the West. You need developed economies to also adopt these things. Well, we're in the Roman Empire, frivolous, type of stage. JPEGs are the perfect way to Trojan horse this technology into people's lives. You're figuring out different use cases for different parts of the world that presents crypto as the solution. So.
Yeah. And there's some shockingly good talent that are working on this stuff too. Like there, a lot of the brightest minds in programming, machine learning, all of this stuff are making the jump into this space too.
like 4 years ago, one statement that jumped out to me and really pushed me towards blockchain was, as somebody who I had trusted who worked at Bloomberg. I mean, remember, I was just a financial guy, stocks and whatever. Someone I really trusted who worked at Bloomberg was like, I've been crypto averse, but the smartest people I have ever seen are all of them. Like, it wasn't even like close. Like, no one wanted to go to Silicon Valley. No one wanted to go to Web 2. 100% were moving towards blockchain because it was so interesting. I was like, well,
sometimes you got to follow those minds, right?
Like that. When the smartest talent in the world goes to something, they're probably going to build some good shit.
Yeah, 100%. Moving back into the states, Florida Governor DeSantis, we will accept Bitcoin for state taxes. This measure would apply specifically to businesses, not individuals. Colorado implementing something similar, but for individuals. So congratulations, you can incur a taxable event to pay your taxes. All jokes aside, though, this is, again, it's like just steps in the right direction. Your local government, your state government is now going to be recognizing that these cryptocurrencies have real financial application and value. They are going to be accepting it, and sometimes you got to wonder why they want to accept it, because I'm sure they're more than happy to have these appreciating assets flowing into their wallets too, right? Like, they're going to keep those things kicking around. They're going to hold on to them, I believe. Do you think they're just transferring them into fiat? I don't.
No clue. No clue what the government. I don't think the government knows what it wants to do.
That's true.
I think it's very. I don't think anyone within our own industry. Nobody understands crypto. You expect these outside entities who have interest against it to even understand what's remotely going on here. I don't think any of us do.
Yeah, all right. I mean, that's kind of fair. I might be giving them a little bit too much credit for that, but
I mean, maybe Fort Knox is just a mining operation now. Who knows? They don't.
They just have Bitcoin PC like hashes all in there. Yeah, amazing.
No, I mean, why not? Instead of charging us taxes, why not just set up the largest mining operation in the world? I mean, gas is taxes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There you go.
Great point. Anyways, that's always nice to see the adoption going in the correct way. And then finally, we have GameStop has launched their NFT Marketplace Beta. There is nothing of substance in there. They are just doing like load tests and wallet connection testing and whatnot. But Loopring, which is one of their partners, jumped 34% once they announced that. And then, of course, Immutable X is partnering with them. Immutable X actually put out a pretty interesting tweet thread. I'll just give you the TLDR of it. But essentially, GameStop and Immutable X's partnership is that, they're referring entities on, the gaming side of it for GameStop and the crypto and NFT side of it for Immutable X into the marketplace, and that's kind of their obligation to try and get people at least in that direction. Mutable X also went on to say, they have $100 million token incentive fund for people that are building on these networks, and they have been reached out by thousands of games and NFT projects which have applied to the fund there, including home brands that you would know. Again, this is all coming down the pipeline. These big companies move slower than just a small crack group of 3 artists, programmers, developers that just want to get something out. But obviously we see a huge rejection from the gaming industry, or from gamers time and time again. But the gaming industry is understanding, I think, like the music industry, that their world is set for disruption. And it's either join it or watch your market cap kind of slowly dwindle away. So I mean, this is exciting. The GameStop thing coming to reality. GameStop just such a recognizable brand as kind of that that central rallying point last year around the stock and the short sellers and all of that stuff, right? So it's fun. It's fun that it's moving forward in this direction.
Yeah, I am. I mean, we know I have a few central investment theses I talk about a lot, and one of them is memes. I am a huge believer in memes. I think Bitcoin was the greatest meme of all time until Doge, and now I think Doge is the greatest meme of all time. I think GameStop is also a great meme. Obviously, it defines the meme stonk phenomena of the last couple years over the pandemic and the stock market and all that type of stuff. And NFTs, great meme in and of itself, right? It's still such a fabulous meme because most people hate them. Two of the greatest memes colliding together. I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be more bullish on the concept. I'm not saying buy GameStop's stock, but I think looking at how you talked about a couple of the companies they're working with to bring this to fruition and how they saw pops and stuff like that. I wouldn't run out and buy GameStop. I would just kind of look at it and say, how is this going to penetrate the mainstream? What companies are going to benefit from it, and how can I play it? But I just love this marriage here, just meme plus meme equals wealth.
Yeah, it's the perfect storm, right? And yes, Dikenza, loopring is a ZK roll-up technology. You are correct about that. So definitely we'll be keeping an eye on that as it develops. I'm just curious as to see what they're going to be selling. Is it going to be like, gaming skins? Is it actually going to be the actual P2E games that are going to be onboarded onto that platform and operate off that? I think there's tons of potential, but again, unless you're a fly on the wall in those rooms, you're kind of just waiting to see what ends up happening with their strategy here.
Well, so it's so interesting because I feel like if we fast forward 5 years, this doesn't even make sense. I don't think there will be such a thing as an NFT marketplace. I think half, if not more, of the things sold on and in GameStop will have non-fungible token technology backing it. And it won't be like you buy this NFT. It'll be like, oh, look at this great entertainment property or game that came out. We have to get that. And oh, guess what? When you read the fine print, it just happens to be underpinned by this technology. That's where I think all of this is going. But, how do you market it? How do you do it this way? This is how it becomes popular. You watch it unfold. I've seen it before.
Yeah, again, going back to that idea of the term NFT is kind of the same as the term internet, right? We connect to the internet. We use the internet, probably 12 hours, 18 hours a day now when it's connected to your phone and your computer and your TV and your car and all of this stuff. But you don't explicitly say, I'm connecting to the internet. Hey, let me log on to the internet and check this out. It's just, right. It's understood that it's there and it's working, and NFTs will be a term that will be in the same vein, right? It's going to be an NFT. You're not going to say that it's an NFT every time. People just understand the idea. So very cool stuff. We talked a little bit in the pre-show just about floors kind of getting a little bit dry out there. Volume is reducing. There's still some mints that are, cooking above mint price, going on little runs here and there and whatnot. But we're seeing a lot of, existing kind of maybe tier 2, tier 3 projects just being the victims of a very dry market. One of those projects not having that issue right now is Azuki. Dingaling went in and spent about 100 ETH yesterday on a few select Azukis. And it really started quite a little bull run for Azuki, climbing back up. I think 2 weeks ago we were talking about it down around 10, 11 ETH. It has since gone from about 14 ETH yesterday up to 16.
Well, you never know. Hit refresh. It may be back at 11.
With my track record, see, look at that. We just dropped,
you just took $1,000 worth of value from 5,000 people.
I just crushed. Yeah, just crushed everyone. I'm so sorry about that. Azuki is. Actually, sorry. Let's rewind here to Dingaling, and why maybe this is one of
very serious financial analysis show. Now let's rewind to Dingaling.
Yeah, Dingaling is often regarded as one of the biggest NFT traders, collectors, more on the collection side of it. Obviously, some of his holdings are just mind-boggling, but has been really kind of in the forefront this last week with his Bored Ape holdings and how much he actually earned just off the Ape coin drop, right? 106 Bored Apes in his wallet, about the equivalent in Mutant Apes. I think it's just slightly less. And then, of course, the Dogs has over 100 of those too. Total airdrop value in ApeCoin, obviously fluctuating a lot, but somewhere in the ballpark of $15-20 million. And people look at Dingaling and that wallet and go, how did you pay, or, how did you diamond hand, so many of these Bored Apes as they go from 100 ETH down to 65 ETH to 125 ETH, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It is a really good stamp of approval when someone like that comes into a project and spends 100 ETH, because at least the knee-jerk reaction is that this is going to be a buy and hold. And, it feels like if you were to talk to him, he would probably say, you see some value in these a year down the road. And it's crazy to think Bored Apes launched less than a year ago still, right? Like, we talk about these long-term holds, like he's probably not even eligible for long-term capital gains tax on it yet.
Well, and think about that, right? Once the moment you get over that 1 year mark, your taxes go from 40% to 15%. I mean, that's a lot of money when you're talking about Dingaling's holdings, right? And I tell people that all the time. I know if you're not in the United States, that doesn't make any sense what we're talking about, but there's something called long-term capital gains, where if you hold something for more than a year, you get a much lower tax rate. So that you see often people in the West and people in the United States, at least who have been in this for a few years and know the deal, have kind of a different strategy than the traders who go for quick flips. Because not only does the quick flip arbitrage eventually go away because everyone starts doing it and using bots, but you're paying a very, very high tax rate at the end of the year. So it's tougher when you live in a Western country that has these type of rules. So Azuki had been consolidating anyway at 10. It had its frothy period. It got up to 17. It pulled back to 9 or 10. The way it consolidated there, you'd have thought it's going to be getting off the mat any time. And these are the type of things that do it. Supply crises brew under the surface before price reflects it. And there's a lot of collections that's going on in right now. Azuki was one of them. And then a signal from somebody like Dingaling, who made $1.3 million on the first day of staking his ape in the liquidity pool. Not his
That's right, too. Yeah, I forgot about that whole aspect.
He made $1.3 million on the LP staking. Forget the asset value of everything that he claimed and has. So this guy's diamond-handed. This guy, he picks, for lack of a better phrase, the next Bored Apes, and Azuki is obviously the made man here. I feel like Doodles has suffered from the amount of derivatives that have stolen its style. And Azuki is starting to experience that as well. We see so many Azuki-like projects launching now. Let's not forget that crypto Twitter is largely anime Twitter. It is a very, very
that's a great point.
To circle Venn diagram of human beings who like this. So I don't think this is a trendy thing that will go away. I do think anime projects are here to stay. I mean, there isn't one anime TV show. There's a ton of them. So, I think that obviously Azuki is the next one to be crowned here. I know everyone's wondering which one's the next one, the 20 ETH, Doodles, Azuki, Clonex, etc. Well, I think it's Azuki.
Yeah, Azuki definitely feels like it's running away with it. I actually haven't checked in. What's Clonex doing these days?
The only bearish thing that I would say about Azuki is that its owners are very, very touchy. Don't tell them Oni. Don't tell them it's the next Oni.
Yeah. The Muri comparisons really lit up.
Yeah.
But, hey, having these factions and having people argue about their that is good. I mean, this is a rallying cause. For every Muri that happens, and that Azuki crowd that wants to reject it and say, "Don't you fucking dare call this the next Azuki." I mean, that crowd gets tighter and tighter. I mean, they really, really bond over that. And again, it's not bad. This is like Lakers Celtics, right? Like, I love the Lakers. Fuck the Celtics.
People can only
proud of it
about shit they love for so long. People can talk about shit they hate for the rest of their lives till they're sitting in a chair and can't move. They'll still tell you about the shit they hate. Hating something means it's in the conversation. It means people are talking about it. It means it's in the news. The moment people stop hating something, people forget about it. It's done. It's over. The niche people who love it stick with it, and the fad is over. You need people to hate things. You need people to hate the bull market. You need people to hate crypto. You need people to hate NFTs, because that's your exit liquidity. It takes time to convert them into your exit liquidity. You want them hating as long as possible.
No, it is a great point. Rivalries, breed really, really strong fans, and that's not, in no way, shape, or form does it mean that both can't exist, and in fact, both happily will, right? And look, you want to talk about the OG NFT rivalry? Look where they both are right now. Well, actually, they're under the same umbrella, but CryptoPunks and Bored Apes. I mean, that feud between them, fueled them to just insane heights, right? We're talking $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 floors on these things, and they both exist. Both communities are happy to hold their respective JPEGs, and I'm sure that there's a lot that hold both. But people hating Bored Apes on the CryptoPunk side of it didn't put Bored Apes in the grave. In fact, it just made them stronger too. So, keep that in mind.
Very, very nice to the NFT haters. They're the ones who are going to be buying your Lamborghini for you next year.
Tio is asking, what about Muri and Kiwami? Well, my friend, I'm glad you asked, because we do have those pulled up too. I wanted to pull them up just because, there are some parallels to it. Obviously, we talked about Muri being compared to Azuki, and boy, don't do that. Muri is sitting around 0.72 right now. You want to watch a floor drop? Let me refresh it. But, oh, look, it went up. This thing got up over 1 ETH after the reveal. It's kind of cooled down. Again, we got to remember that the time where we're in, attention spans are very short and volume is even shorter. This is a pullback, but I do know a lot of people in the DGen dojo are still very bullish on this. People are accumulating them slowly as it dips below a certain price. And by and large, it seems like it's a pretty beloved project with, at least a longer term outlook in what they're looking to achieve. And you could say the same thing about Azuki. Is it going to take the same trajectory? It's definitely not in this market, but God, I've been wrong about this stuff before. Kiwami minted yesterday with their Dutch auction, and it did not go super well for them. I think it minted out at the lowest tier or just slightly above, but it was a slow start for them.
It minted out. Mm-hmm. I said, well, it minted out at least.
Well, the Dutch auction phase of it, I believe there's still some
there's still
to go.
Did they do the thing where the pre-sale goes after the Dutch auction?
That's correct. Yeah. So it's going to be half of the Dutch auction. So 0.08 ETH for the rest of the mint, and then the final will go to the public. So I guess it minted out around 0.15.
I figured out what Muri reminds me of.
Okay.
It's like if you went out to a club and across the room you saw an Azuki, right? And this Azuki is just looking off into the distance, being very aloof, playing it cool. You take them home. You're in the cab with the Suzuki. They're just looking off in the distance. You're like, this is weird, but they're still really good looking and mysterious. You get home, you sit on the couch, right? And then, boom, they look at you and turn off the light. And that's what Muri is. That's Azuki. They turn to you, they turn off the lights, and then boom, that's Muri.
You practiced that speech, didn't you?
No, I actually just came up with it.
Just came up with it? Yeah, I knew there was that little bit of silence while the wheel was turning, and we were just going to see how we were delivering it. Kiwami, 8 p.m. Eastern tonight that this is going down. So, yeah, maybe it's tomorrow for you, Tio. 3,000 of them left. I mean, they're doing okay. A lot of times we've been seeing these projects kind of go on their runs after the public sale hits out. A lot of the bot arbitrage and the whitelist arbitrage and all of that stuff is really cooling off. And people that aren't getting on the fully whitelisted projects or the public sales aren't really willing to spend the money to ape into a project when it's like 5x above mint price. I think we're seeing a lot of that just kind of being washed out. But for now, we're going to watch that go down. I actually I don't own any of these three projects, but I do think I'm excited to see what comes out of Kiwami. if it's like a really good quality project, they nailed the traits and whatnot. I do think that their color palette is more interesting than Muri. Azuki's color palette isn't like exciting in the sense that it's bright, colorful, contrast, but it does actually have like a really beautiful color palette. Again, I'm going to say it about Muri. Um, they're just too dark for my taste. So don't take any offense to that, please. But that's where I stand on it. But kind of going into this anime meta, trend right now, Evereye is actually minting tomorrow. Saturday too. So this is going to be one to look at. I think that Evereye is going to be either a validation or a rejection of where we're sitting at in this meta right now. They are doing a Dutch auction starting at 0.3 ETH, dropping down to 0.1 ETH. Again, I wish that these projects would get out of the Dutch auction meta, but maybe they just had it in their mind that that's what they were going to do. And the market seems to be getting a little bit smarter. Evereye did actually have a little bit of issues in their Discord yesterday, so I hope nobody watching got burned on that, but it looks like it got dealt with pretty quickly. Evereye, of course, being an anime style, more like Gundam Wing art. Fuck, sorry, pardon me. I had the page pulled up and then I forgot to show it there. But yeah, I mean, again, there is potential for this to be good, but I would worry that it suffers from the mecha side of things, where like maybe if this is a floor, a lot of them are too similar. So quality stuff though, like I do really like the style of it. It's got like a little bit of that like 90s kind of grain to it. It's not quite as like hyper polished as some of the other ones.
Yeah.
It would be weird for Muri to be bright colored as Night City. No, I mean, I totally get it. Like, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, like, when it's like 8 o'clock and the sun's kind of gone down and there's like a little bit of light coming in, but people haven't turned the lights on yet, and that really gray light. Like, I don't know why, but I don't function very well in that. And Muri just like makes me feel like my eyesight is bad. And again, that's just me personal. See ya, Hemi. Thanks for tuning in today. Let's get into the Benzinga NFT Madness 2022 tournament bracket. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. The second round has started, and I thought it would be fun to kind of just pull this up and maybe go through the second round and fill it out together. Again, this is a fan voted tournament, so it's more about the community. Obviously, if it was just like, oh, what project has the highest market cap, like Bored Apes, they're going to sweep it across the board. But in round one, we saw some pretty fun upsets. I would say Starcatchers beating Meebits was an upset, although you could say that, Meebits has no community surrounding it, and I wouldn't argue with you. Sneaky Vampire Syndicate crushing Mechaverse is probably a pretty good state of where Mecha is. That project reached over a 1 ETH floor very briefly, but it has had a hard time getting off of the mat there, and I don't know if we ever see that one really rebound. A couple other ones that kind of surprised me. I was actually a little surprised at how big Cool Cats' victory over Alien Friends was. I don't know why. Maybe it's just based on the people that I follow on Twitter, but I seem to just still see Alien Friends everywhere. But again, like sometimes on Twitter, it just depends on who you've clicked the follow button on and how the algorithm decides it wants to put stuff in front of you. The biggest victory, and there's no surprises here, Mutant Ape Yacht Club just crushed Hape Prime. Hape not getting a single vote in there, it looks like. So this has been a lot of fun.
In general, I think people who read Bazinga are more affluent and are more likely to own a higher end collection than something like Alien Friends. So that could be a reason you would see something like Cool Cats beat out Alien Friends, as I believe a Cool Cats holder is more likely to read Bazinga than an Alien Friends holder.
That could definitely be the case here. I mean, I saw some of it being thrown out on Twitter. SVS versus Starcatcher should be interesting. Yeah, that's one of the ones that I was looking at. So, I mean, let's just go through it. I mean, Bored Apes versus NFT Worlds. As much as NFT Worlds has gone on a tear, I mean, is there any doubt? Yeah, I mean, we're not even talking about that. Although it looks like the community is trying to make a little bit of a push there. I mean, CryptoPunks versus DGen Ape Academy. I don't even remember DGen Ape Academy, so that's got to be CryptoPunks too, right?
What? Yeah, that's pretty easy.
Yeah. Cryptodes and Azuki. This one gets kind of interesting too. Cryptodes still has a pretty strong fan base. I still see them all over the place. Azuki. Whoop, what's that?
Toads are dead. Chop them in half.
Put them in.
Take
chop
one
it up for Azuki.
And yep, done.
Oh, that's a close one. Oh, they only have a 2% edge there, so we have to see where that goes.
CyberKong's fucking one on the board. CyberKong's versus Sandbox. I mean, CyberKong's is Sandbox.
Well, that's what I was like. This is like a little bit. This is like if the Knicks are in practice scrimmage fighting each other, right? So I'm gonna go with Kongs there. I'm sure Sandbox is.
I don't even think people know what the Sandbox is. So just go. I'll look at that.
They're bullish on the Sandbox.
You know why it makes sense too? I should have said that. I don't think people know what CyberKongs are. Like Bored Apes has certainly put them to bed.
Lately, that definitely seems to be the case. The amount of CyberKongs I see are quickly approaching zero.
Not in the conversation, so I would expect them to partner with Sandbox and try to buy up a bunch of brands and compete with Yuga. For better or for worse.
Yeah, they need to kickstart something. The baby's minted out, and it's just kind of sitting there. Is that where we're at with CyberKongs?
Yeah.
Sneaky Vampire Syndicate and Starcatchers. SVS was a project that was really quite hyped back in the day. Kind of taking a backseat. I couldn't even tell you what the floor on it is. Like
unfortunately, it doesn't matter who wins this round because they're going up against Azuki in the next seed. So, just pick your poison and let them lose.
SVS at a actually surprising 0.56 floor. I know that, the people that are in it still really love that project.
Yeah, it's like they're lunatic. These annoying lunatics.
It's like what?
Sappy seals.
Oh, yeah.
It's an annoying lunatic community. Right, like lemons, like dead fellas. These are communities that are just so annoying and persistent; they never go away. Right, and that's Sneaky Vampire Syndicate. That's Lazy Lions. These type of communities, they're always going to have high floors. They're never going to go away because they just have that weird. There's a bunch of weirdos out there, and they all identify with. So some people identify with fruit, some people identify with seals, some people it's just strange, but it's strange enough to work. So
you are a fan of the citrus. Let's put SVS on there. I think that it's going to take.
I would have picked Star. I think Starcatchers is
okay. Why you think more recent? Recency?
Yeah, it's just more recent. I would say it's like 50-50 because Sneaky is persistent and constant, but Starcatchers is newer. So that's like a good one. It's a coin flip in a sense. Right?
I think we're probably pretty close on the. Oh my god, it is. It really is.
Yeah.
This could go either way. The Doge Pound and NBA Top Shot. I would probably just say Top Shot in that one.
I don't even know what the Doge Pound is. So
I remember it, but I don't remember. Oh wow, they're coming out in droves, I guess. Sappy Seals and Doodles. I'm going to slam the Doodles button every single time unless you've got any bull cases.
I'll actually be surprised to see that. I bet you Sappy Seals are winning right now. If they're not, I don't know what's they just don't know about it.
I think their Pixelverse was like, I think that there's still a lot there and a lot of potential, but the reveal of the Pixel Pets were like really kind of. Blah.
The problem is once your collection gets over 10 ETH, the people who are buying it aren't on Discord all fucking day. They're not hanging out, mixing it up with the fucking community.
You mean Steph Curry and Justin Bieber aren't hanging out in the Bored Apes metaverse?
They're out banging supermodels and fucking buying diamonds and shit. They're not sitting in Discord with these people. So Doodles, I would think are losing a set because Sappy Seals, they just sit there on Twitter all day and arf at us. ARF. Okay.
So you think that this is going to be close?
Yeah, I would very much expect Sappy Seals to be in the lead here.
All right. So which button am I clicking though? You want to say Sappy Seals?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Underdog. Yeah. Okay.
Your bracket, you pick.
Well, I have my own. I made a whole new account just to do this with you.
All right. Well, then I'm Sappy Seals. Go ahead.
All right. Let's throw Sappy Seals in there as the underdog. Always good to put an underdog in there. And actually, the next round, looking at Oniforce and V Friends, I mean, the V Friends fans might just put that to bed, but it could be a good battle. This, I'm assuming V Friends.
A good battle, please.
Oh, Doodles is crushing them. Yeah.
Are they? Wow.
Yeah, 75-25 there.
R.
Oniforce V Friends, like
V Friends by a mile. What is
it? Yeah, by a country mile. Please. Oh yeah. Oniforce is coming out. Art. Oh no, that's first round. Art Blocks versus Zed Run. I mean, this is Art Blocks.
Zed Run, really? All right, Art Blocks next.
Zed Run had a bit of an easy first round there. Fluff World. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better first round opponent for
like a 3,000 collection or something. This is the problem with these low supply collections. You just don't have enough people out there pushing it.
Yeah. Oh well. Hey, that's a good point too. We didn't talk about collection size.
No, it is
10,000. Fluff World is 10,000 though. I you know what? Seeing this logo, I do remember it. I don't think I ever saw these reveal. Yeah. Interesting.
Creepiest fucking things I've ever seen, but people love them. I mean, they're. I mean, can you imagine this?
Oh yeah, these animations aren't doing it any favors either.
No.
Oh, you know what this reminds me of is like that weird game from like 15 years ago that, you know, some real shady, dodgy shit went down on. I think it was called Second Life. Was that like the OG metaverse kind of thing? Do you remember that?
Second
It just turned into like sex clubs of like furries and stuff like that.
No.
Nah. Weird time in the internet, that's for sure. Okay, so anyways, I think Art Blocks is the hands down winner there, no problem. Axie Infinity versus Creature World. This is
oh God. I mean, they're so good at picking. I mean, can I just vanquish both of them off the map as quickly as possible? Is that allowed?
Well, World of Women is going to do it in the next round for you.
Okay.
So good. I mean, you know, shout out to Crypto Dads. They've
I'm literally I'm not even gonna vote for this. You can just touch whatever one you want.
Whoa.
Literally not even. I hate both of these projects.
What, Axie and Creature World?
And Creature World, yeah.
All right, I gotta say Axie.
You know what? Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
World of Women is taking a beating against Crypto Dads. That's fascinating. The dads are strong. Dad strength coming out.
This isn't even like a mystery, right? Think about what Crypto Dads is. Okay, these people are on the internet a lot. Okay. The people that buy World of Women, they're out banging supermodels. They're buying diamonds. They're on jets. Okay, they don't have time for any of this. All right, they have no time for this. The Crypto Dads, they're there. They're clicking. You know.
Yeah, they're working their stuff.
World of Women in a community. You know, it's a bunch of like highfalutin.
Chris is just saying the brackets include many of the top 50 NFTs by all-time sales volume too. So it's important that some of these older projects are getting some love in here.
I know. Well, again, Bazinga is finance focused, right? So it's like I understand. Like it's funny because there are projects out there that are dead. They're like literally dead and never coming back. But because they had such early runs, their volume keeps them in the top 50. And
sure.
I get that. So
I would be interested to, like, if you just said to me, pick 64 NFT projects. I have a hard time deciding whether or not that would be really easy or really hard.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know either. I would just be an interesting test. It's like when somebody says name all 50 states. And like everyone's like, yeah, I could do that. And then like, you start to flame out around 42, 43.
42? Who could make it that far? I remember all the ones I had just said. Please. It's not even about knowing them all. It's about remembering the 40 you just said. Not even going to happen.
Robotos versus Loot. What are we thinking here?
Versus
Loot seems to have been gone on a bit of a run lately too. I see him popping up in the whale watching quite a bit.
Robotos versus Loot.
This is a tough one.
Robotos versus Loot. That's a good one.
We should have some music on for this. We're just chilling.
I'm
gonna go.
I'll go with Robotos.
I was literally about to say Robotos, so I think we're gonna do that. It's tight though. It's not a foregone conclusion. So you guys don't have World of Women? I mean, I picked it there. Crypto Dads apparently shared it on Twitter, and they're coming out in full force for it.
Yeah.
MFers, Bored Ape Kennel Club.
I think you can click for me. I'm not gonna.
I know. I'm gonna give this one to you for sure. Yeah. I get worried about the Bored Ape, the Yuga, the fans coming out, but MFers, they are strong, and yeah, look at that. They've got an edge right now. CloneX, Lazy Lions. I mean, is there any doubt here? Are we CloneX?
Well, I mean, yeah. The thing is, if we're thinking about who would win here, do I think CloneX buyers are on this poll, or is Lazy Lion? I don't know. I guess, all right, CloneX. I'll vote CloneX.
I think Tropics probably made about 75 accounts to get some votes in here. So
yeah, that's probably just a CloneX.
Ooh, Lazy Lions.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, they're pushing forward. Interesting, actually. Maybe this should have been indicative of where we were voting. Lazy Lions actually crushed Invisible Friends, and CloneX had a pretty tight run against Cryptoon Goons, their project that I love there.
Yeah.
Oh, just taking Commander's taking a jab about WoW holders are out banging supermodels.
Yeah, no, not my life, unfortunately.
Dead Fellas toppling Pudgy Penguins in the first round. Cool Cats easily sweeping Alien Friends there. That was quite a big first round matchup. I think I got to go with Cool Cats over Dead Fellas. As much as the Dead Fellas community is still strong, Cool Cats showing in the first round might be what I'm looking at here. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I begrudgingly pick Cool Cats.
One game, yeah, they're doing all right against Dead Fellas right now. There's still some time left in these voting, though.
These are another two collections that I could do without, but Dead Fellas, whatever, kill them.
Oh. Punks Comics versus Mutant Ape Yacht Club. Mutant Ape Yacht Club. I mean,
some strange ones on here. Yeah, Mutant Apes for the win. That's not.
Yeah,
there you go. Punks.
You know what? I'm thinking like we're gonna see, Azuki Bored Ape Yacht Club. That's gonna be an interesting second round match there. I think Azuki could continue its run, but I mean everything BA Bored Ape is in vogue right now. And here's the thing, right? Like people that are voting on this, not necessarily Bored Apes holders, are probably by default just picking Bored Apes too, right? And Mutant Apes are probably the recipient of that as well. So Mutant Apes and Cool Cats next round could be a big matchup to watch. But this is actually a lot of fun. It was a great idea, Chris, for putting that together, especially with the March Madness going on. This is a much more important tournament in my mind. But yeah, we're going to keep tabs on it. Should be finishing up around April 9th. So we've got some time to go through this, and we'll keep the next round bracket going. Thanks for sharing and doing the bracket. You're welcome, man. Appreciate you putting that together. Are we going to talk about the Yuga land sale? They have some heavy KYC requirements. Wondering if anyone has more detail and thought. Yeah, I mean, it's going to sell out. KYC or not, I mean this is just I think it's just fact. What did you think about all of that KYC? Like, was it as big of a deal to you as some people?
No, I didn't particularly care.
It sounds like they're going to be raising the money in dollar terms. Is that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No idea what I have no idea what Yuga's doing here, and they also have cautioned us that everything we've read and seen is outdated. So.
Yeah, he even went as far as saying that slide deck he had never seen before.
Yeah. So a lot of times that will be like VCs will go into a meeting, they will take notes, and then when they go back, they have some intern make a deck off their notes that then they can go show to invest. We don't know where that deck came from, who made it, why it was presented the way it was. So until we get more details, I don't know. I don't have any comments. I don't know what to make of the news yet. I really don't. I don't know what the random. I am not convinced people want to be in the metaverse in that way. But we will see. I could be wrong.
I never really got heavily into the game. That game being World of Warcraft, sorry. Lemon. Yeah, Lemon. I never got heavy into it, but I had friends that were, and boy, I can tell you, they hung out with people in that game even when they weren't playing that game. And it's that in the back of my mind that is convincing me that people will do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if it's done with like proper voice chat or text or something, like, could I see Bored Ape holders and whatnot hanging out in that space rather than their Discord? Like, maybe I don't know. I'm so intrigued by this. I want more details before I make a huge opinion on the Yuga land sale. They are going aggressive with it, but I mean, in my mind,
yeah,
I believe that Ape token has to power everything that they do from here on out because it will justify its existence. And we talked tons about, tokens affect a project's floor price in the negative because you release a token and then everyone goes, oh, great, this is a token. And then token value there's no use case for the token. There's no value behind the token. The token drops and everyone's like, well, if the token's not worth anything, why is the NFT worth anything? Blah, 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 blah. Recursive downward cycle. I don't think Bored Apes are going to be victim of that, but they still do need that ape coin to be useful.
Right. And, I think all games have always had economies. I think the difference in P2E is that value is removed from the economy, right? And you're playing World of Warcraft. There was gold in there, and the gold had value in a market, but you couldn't remove that value from the game. It was always circulating.
It wasn't easy to, yeah.
Right. It was not easy to, right? But it's much easier to remove value from the game. I think probably calling it the metaverse is confusing to a lot of people. I mean, Fortnite exists, World of Warcraft. It's not like one video game exists that we all participate in. I think what's super interesting and what NFTs have offered is that we have all these characters. So there's no reason interoperability can't be a thing, which wasn't a thing in former video because, the assets were kind of regular. There would be cool mashups like Smash for Nintendo Switch or something. And it was like, oh shit, I can play Mario versus like this other random player from a different universe. And people love that. But yeah, the idea of the metaverse probably doesn't make sense. These are going to be video games, all types of different video games. Now, I guess we will see how this landscape unfolds. If they're all similar, if they're all just like DCL, where you just like walk around, there's mini games inside and you do stuff. I guess it's 100% dependent on whether these mini games are fun to play. There's a lot to consider. It's vast. It's a universe. Hell, it's a metaverse.
Yeah, there's I hate using this, but like more details need to come out before like we can really dig into it a ton. And then they keep some of their information pretty close to the chest there. Clay is asking, do you think we'll see a lot of other projects coming out with their own branded metaverse, considering most projects copy Bored Ape Yacht Club in some way? I think the answer is yes, and I think the answer, or the extended version of that, is that it won't be good for them. I think that copying Bored Ape is a recipe for disaster for projects that don't have the cachet and the swag and the pull that Bored Apes has. They get to play a different game because of where they are in their cycle, their floor price, their fandom, their relevance, right? And I'm sorry, but I can't name another brand that could probably get away with doing this right now, because every other brand, their goal is going to be getting it out as much as possible. Interoperability, participation in Decentraland, Sandbox, maybe even Bored Apes, metaverse, right? And if they close it up, they create a walled garden around their project and whatnot. I mean, people just stop giving a shit. They become less and less relevant. It just becomes an echo chamber, and things just slowly die from there. A Bored Ape is just they're playing a different game right now, and projects should not only look to not copy them, but potentially do the exact opposite of them.
Yeah.
I just I can't think of another project that would be able to pull off what they're doing right now to success. Maybe that's wrong.
I wouldn't think it would be a project. I think Disney is building their own metaverse, and who knows, Viacom.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about like just
for sure.
Yeah,
but that's where if we're thinking about what's now, I do think there will be small projects or companies that do try to compete. I mean, this is what the world is about, and it can work. I mean, we've seen small company. Bored Apes was a small company that disrupted the whole fucking universe, and it can
8 months ago.
Right. 8 months ago.
8 months ago.
That's right. So this, Bored Ape will not be the only one. No question.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Let's run through some stuff. We got the Gucci Grail reveal. We mentioned that a bunch on the show, so we could kind of put that to bed. Some of them look pretty good. Some of them didn't translate super well. The pixel art ones, like this crypto, to me, like it's kind of missing the point. But by and large, like I think that they did a really good job. One, they had 6 different styles of Gucci clothing that they were going to put on these NFTs that you could burn the mint pass for. But they also took care into implementing it into the style of the base NFT, so that the Kennel Club ones will be in their style, Oni will be in their respective style, Mutant Apes, yada 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 yada. So I mean, this has been pretty cool. We saw some people looking at this as some kind of tertiary entry point into the Bored Ape Club, even though it would be unofficial. I didn't even think about this going down when the mint passes were happening, but some people actually used them on their M3, and that was pretty brilliant. This one's going in an auction for highest bid right now, 22 ETH. So they're gonna make a $69,000 bag on that probably. And these ones actually look pretty cool. This is I like this one. They obviously took some time to make it a 1-of-1 as well, but they were
Taylor's.
What's that?
That's Taylor's M3. The co-founder of Ethereum.
Oh, the Cyclops?
Yeah, the eyes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Didn't know who. Is it like a wrapper or a copy? It is a copy, yeah. So I mean, the original M3 is, I'm sure, safe and locked away in their vault now, and so this is a secondary NFT. I could guarantee you that M3 would not be going for 22 ETH if it was just wrapped. But yeah, it's they did a good job of this, and it's a project that I don't know where it goes from here. But Gucci continues to have fun with stuff, partnering up with these brands, and 10KTF's done some cool shit too. The big kind of drop going down today is the XCOPY Drop. This is intriguing to me. There is an open.
Max Payne. Fuck you.
Yeah, Max Payne.
Never mind.
Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah. Keep going. We're not talking about it. Max Payne is going to be an open edition. This thing is going to be open for 10 minutes, and people are going to be able to mint as many as they want for 1 ETH. This is going to be. This is not the first time that XCOPY has done an open edition. We were talking about the show. They did one before. It was only 1 minute, though. And I think you said, 900, 1,000 of them got minted?
Yeah, about 1,000.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to watch that push and pull of I want to mint tons of these, but everyone's going to mint tons of these. Is the supply going to be too high? Maybe I don't want to mint these. Secondary price is going to have some interesting action because 10 minutes is actually, if you really, really, really want to get your hands on one of these and you free up 10 minutes of your time, you're going to be able to get this. Not like, barring any website issues. It's not like you're going to have to smash the gas button and hope that your transaction gets approved in that first minute. 10 minutes is definitely a solid amount of time. So how many of these get minted? I have no idea. XCOPY is a big deal in this world. We remember Kazomo de Medici buying right-click save as guy for a cool 1,600 ETH back in December. This is an interesting thing. I'm excited to be able to talk about this tomorrow with what happens of it. But there's some other things going on too.
I can see 10,000 of these being minted. And remember, this isn't a PFP collection. It's the same.
Yeah, it's a 1-of-1, or not a 1-of-1. It's
right.
It's
the same NFT. So there could be 10,000 of them. With these open editions, there tends to be a small pop right afterwards, and then a depression for a few weeks or months as it falls back very close to mint price, if not to mint price. And then after that, the true price discovery and supply demand mechanics start to present themselves. This, XCOPY is very smart, and basically the same way Afterburn had utility long after the open edition ended, and now it has become very, remember that thing was $1,000 and now it's at 7 ETH, right? So I do expect something similar to happen with this, but do not try to flip these. This is a 10-minute open edition. Anybody who wants one is going to be able to buy 3 with no problem. This isn't a gas war. This isn't.
There's not going to be a lot of secondary demand. Right. The people that want them are going to get them.
Exactly. Everybody who wants one's pretty much going to be able to get one, except the people who forget. And the people who forget may cause a little pop in the day 2 or 3 afterwards, but always with these open editions, there tends to be a depression for a while once that initial pop is done. I know we see it in everything, but these in particular will see that. So love XCOPY. He is my favorite artist. I think Right Click Save could be the most important piece ever in NFTs.
Well, I'm glad that you said that, because I wanted to ask you what the importance of XCOPY is to the NFT world, other than dope as shit art. Right? Like, was it a significant of a certain time in NFTs? Like, where's this importance coming from?
This is one of the first NFT. Back when he did this, they were called crypto artists. Okay. He defines our industry in a lot of ways. XCOPY was one of the first, one of the best. Decentralized, underground, unique, leaning into the digital medium. His art speaks to being digital. This is like, I think most artists come to NFTs and it's like, okay, how can I translate my art into digital? This is digital native in the absolute best way. He's leveraging the technology to make something that couldn't have been made before. And Right Click Save is his preeminent work, because it also defines maybe one of the central conflicts in our entire industry, the idea that these things are quote unquote easily stolen. Though I'll ask you, how many people who Right Click Save Bored Apes got their ape airdrop? Probably not many. So that is why I think Right Click Save is the most important piece ever in crypto. And will go down in that. There has been more expensive sales, of course, but I don't think a piece better defines our industry. I think Sartoshi's MFers define PFPs in so many ways. It's what's right about PFPs.
Yeah. No, you look at these, and it's undisputed that it's art. Like, this is one of one, carefully thought. Like, I fucking love every time XCOPY pops up. I go down the rabbit hole again, and despite the fact that I've seen them before, I'm just so drawn to them. And I know that maybe the art style isn't for everybody, but this is a collection like none other. It's so unique. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of amazing artists, Ghosts GM jumping in here. Haven't seen you in a while, man. Hope you're doing well. I'm sure you're hard at work. Oh, let's what else we got? We got one last thing. Check in on Bape Diverse, sitting at about 0.7 ETH. That's kind of holding its floor pre-reveal. Not much more to talk about with that. And then I think that's kind of looking like it's it. I had another question about P2E gaming. Well, let me read the question, because it echoes my thoughts a lot. Right now, the market being a little slow and more on the blue chip side, what is your opinion on P2E during slow markets like Eternal Elves or Raid Party? It couldn't have been a better timing for Raid Party. They delayed the game. I'm sure not
the whole bear market.
What's that?
Through the whole bear market, the game was perfectly delayed right until volume came back into the market.
And the gas is favorable for it. You haven't felt like I'm paying an arm and a leg to be playing the game. it's very easy for your attention to be shifting towards things like this, which is requiring a more active participation rather than, buy and sell, buy and hold. And I think that, like, while it's a quality game, Eternal Elves, I know people love playing that. I mean, it is just the perfect time for it too. And it's just so easy for the attention to switch to these things. So yeah, I mean, it's been great. I actually should bring up too, we've talked a lot about Raid Party over the last week, and it is the talk of the town. Really cool Raid Party calculator for those of you that are playing it got shared in the DGen dojo. This isn't my team. This is just the base team here. You don't
be coy. Don't be coy. We know that's your team.
34. No,
yeah,
I wish. Yeah, this is a really cool site. You don't have to connect your wallet to it. You just have to go through your hero selection. You search, your specific hero. Maybe it's 6529. Oh shit! I just shared my PIN number with you guys. Maybe that's not even 988. And then you just load them in there manually. So no wallet connection there.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
What's that?
Eternal Elves has 0 fees to play.
Oh wow, that is cool.
Someone has to explain Eternal Elves to me, how they could do that on chain.
Yeah, I'm wondering if like the tokens that are accrued are dealt with like in critters too, where like there's a certain amount allocated to your account that you can claim, but any transactions that go on within the marketplace are just done with like a swap of like the checks and balances, so it comes out or is added to your claim total, and therefore you're not actually moving it in between wallets and causing all of those gas fees. So I would actually think that we'll probably see a lot more of that in the future. I'm not super technically minded, so I'm there might be limitations that prevent it, but like in my mind, I would think that like, if you have 100 confetti built up in there, maybe there's a way that 100 confetti can just get ixnayed so that you can mint your fighter, pulling from the claimable amount rather than the claimed amount. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's what's going on with Eternal Elves, because I'm pretty confident that that's how Critters is doing it. How you would go about doing that? No clue. So if I'm wrong, I'm fully willing to admit it.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't have this pulled up. I'm sorry, guys. I thought the party calculator was pulled up on screen, but yeah, it's db.raidparty.wtf. Again, you don't have to connect your wallet to it, so don't worry about that. You just have to manually load in your stuff. You get to see your the calculator of what your all the damage is. You can see what you are at different levels and what your heroes can or your fighters can get enhanced to. You get to see what the bosses are yielding. This is lots of cool information here. You can see how much you yielded per boss. As it turns out, I was getting about 20 per godly boss, which have we even seen a godly since they made that change? I guess not, eh?
No, not yet.
Just in the run bad phase.
It was probably due anyway, since we got 4 in a row, right?
Yeah, exactly. The other thing cool too is if you're looking, because it's not connected to your wallet and you can just search the heroes and the fighters, if you're looking to pick up something, you can actually add it into the rest of your party and get all of the stats that you need and see how it'll affect your yield without actually buying it and having it in your wallet. I thought that was really cool.
Yep. I also use the tracker, which is more of a live thing. Do you use the tracker? Had I given it to you?
No.
Oh, hold on here.
You're holding out on me, sandbagger.
No, because I shared it in the DGen dojo. I thought you were there. My bad. Hold on. Let me DM it to you because you can see this too. It was actually made by Oaktal. Shout out. He's a huge Kaiju King community member, really big in Raid Party. He made this. He made this little tracker. So.
Oh, your coffee's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pull that up. Paulo's saying Raid Party NFT traits have Nexon's IP from MapleStory game. Why is that not a problem? I mean, we've talked about this before. Like, there's definitely some stuff that are inspired and close to it, and we can argue about that. I spent some time playing around with one of like the Raid Party asset creators, so like you could create your character fully customizable, everything down to the color and whatnot, and it is pretty shocking how much you can make something in MapleStory look like almost anything you want, including obviously raid party assets. And it was like one of those things where like I had less of an issue of it once I saw that, because like, I mean, you can go in there and make little lemon friends, and they look really close to it. You can go in there and make Azukis and they look really close to it. And I think part of it is because a lot of those, you know, anime style tropes and stuff like that exist across so many different platforms. So I don't know what like IP they have trademarked and copywritten or whatnot, but other than that initial FUD that seemed to be going on after the, you know, the first 3 days of reveal, I haven't really seen that been brought up again. If there's a strong legal case for it, like, yeah, I would assume
that's on Nexon. We'll see. We don't.
That's the thing, right? And Raid Party has certainly probably gained enough attention in the NFT space that it certainly has been brought to their attention. Like, I can't imagine that if there's some IP that they are going to be overly protective about, they haven't already started going down that path, and we probably would have heard of it.
It's a few traits in the collection, which, as we've seen with other collections, is easily fixable if there was some Nexon case against it.
And not only that, I feel like, honestly, I know there's MapleStory fans out there. I feel like I could go through MapleStory and find a dozen instances of it in anime culture across the board before MapleStory too, right?
Look, Zach is a gigantic MapleStory. His PFP is still...
Yeah, and that wasn't even a secret either. Yeah.
He never hid this. He was talking about how this is what inspired him. I mean, there's no secret. And the magnificence of this game has nothing to do with the MapleStory traits. So, you know, you could take that FUD and shove it, because again, if it really is an issue and Nexon has something to say about it, then it'll be an issue. And I'm sure they'll have to change the traits if it really is whatever. Doesn't have anything to do with how good this game is. I mean, the art is fabulous too. It's funny because when I'm choosing a hero, I'm not just doing it based on the stats, which can be frustrating because there's a lot of them that don't look great. I'm trying to get a good looking hero here. Some of them are like zombies with band-aids on their face. When I'm going to
you got to get that good looking raid party team.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Heckin'
yeah. All right, my dude, we're at an hour and a half, 11 o'clock. Seems to be maybe good for that time. Anything else you wanted to bring up on the show? Anything you got going on today that's of importance? Turtles?
Turtle.
What's going on with turtles?
Nothing.
We're talking about the...
you remember the meme from back in the day?
No.
I like turtles. Well.
Is that like... Are we talking about the chocolates?
No.
You guys have those in the States, right? Turtles?
Yes, chocolate turtles. Yes, we have.
Yes. Okay, just the animal.
They've made their way south.
I don't know. It is shocking to me that some of the brands that you don't have and some of the brands we don't have. Mm-hmm. You guys talk about cereal, and I'm like, what the fuck are you guys looking at? Something as trivial as cereal. I just figured it would be in Canada.
That's why that is why I follow the Canadian cereal accounts. I don't want to miss out on these exotic varietals.
Man, I gotta say, I'm a big Harvest Crunch fan. It's a lot of granola.
Harvest Crunch
and almonds.
94.
No, but I need some fiber. I need some, you got to take care of yourself, man. We're not spring chickens anymore.
So
it's actually, I will say this though, it is fucking delicious. It is actually really good. It's not like I'm like
marshmallows is the perfect cereal.
I can just feel that going straight to the hips. No, man, I didn't realize Walmart sells these like nice big boxes of it. It's like double the price at the other than the
You have Walmart in Canada?
There's Walmart in fucking everywhere in the world, man.
Not everywhere in the world. There's North America. There's no Walmarts in Europe.
There are for sure.
No,
all right,
not.
Where my European gang at?
There's
confirm or deny? Walmart.
The
European cookies is the first thing.
This is an Arkansas-based company. They consider Europe to be weak and feminine. They're not going to open any stores there.
Is there a Walmart in Europe?
No. What do you think? It's McDonald's? They don't appeal to international.
All right, you guys win. I'll take my foot out of my mouth here.
All over the world.
Well, they're fuck. Every other American brand is all over the world. You got McDonald's.
24 countries. I don't believe it.
Walmart. 24 countries, not a lot for. Is Walmart in UK? Oh, they own a chain of stores called ASDA.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
No, Walmart.
So technically.
Yes, technically.
All right, I'll shut up. I'm embarrassed. I gotta go. Gonna go to McDonald's and guilt eat my way out of this one. Thank you for that. No, if yeah, you're good. You anything else other than turtles you want to talk about? No, feeling good, feeling great. It's Friday tomorrow.
Friday
As the Lucky Duckies is minting today too. Yeah, there's a bunch of them left. 2,000 minted out of 7,777. They are sitting above mint price, but just barely. And that's going down at noon today.
2 minutes, 5 seconds till the next boss.
Sorry, 2 minutes, 5 seconds.
Yeah, this guy sent you the tracker.
Go godly. Okay. Oh, that's what that. Okay, I
do have Lucky Ducky allow list. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I get most allow lists now.
Could you go? You celebrity, you.
Yeah,
I can hear you. Grats on 1K subs. Thank you, man. It's a good first step. We'll get there. If anybody feels like subscribing and they haven't, we always appreciate it too. On that note, if you tuned in late today, we talked about S&Ps potentially consolidating for a while. Nothing new there. We talked a lot about that yesterday as well. Kind of went off on a tangent about Coinbase NFT Marketplace and when that's going to go down, if they've kind of taken the wind out of their own sails by drawing this out too much, or if there's still lots of excitement left in it. Personally think that it can do very good things for this market, especially if they're launching in low volume time, get some life back and stuff. Talked a little bit about just the power of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, and what's going on in the world and people being able to move around with their money. GameStop's marketplace is very close on the horizon. They launched their beta going on. CloneX, Azuki, Muri, and Evereye. Talked a little bit about that kind of anime style meta manga, what's going on with that. And, we're going to see where Evereye takes it on the weekend. We filled out the NFT Madness 2022 bracket, which was a lot of fun, just talking about the matchups and who's against who. If you haven't check that out, it's in the AlphaMint Twitter. It's done by Ben Zinga, and it's just been fun, a good 10 minutes to just kill some time. And then the XCOPY. XCOPY is probably the biggest thing going down today. A 1 ETH open NFT sale. Mint as many or as few as you like. It'll be interesting to watch how people react to that and how many get minted. Guys, thank you so much. We will do this again tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. As always, it's always a pleasure to be up here talking in front of you guys. We appreciate the love and support as always. For my Moon Lounge homies, we'll see you in the DGen Dojo. Free market. Do the thing.
Good luck at the tables, DGen.